Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at music in Python. So what is music? Well, for a computer it's just a bunch of audio signals that it can then play to make a sound. But to us, music usually has a name, an artist, and other details. And in fact, the metadata is a very important part of a song. And so for me, I like to have my metadata in a very strict fashion. And so I use mutagen to add all these tags and make sure that it's all in the same format. So if we're going to use mutagen, we're not going to use the whole thing. We're going to use this EasyID3 submodule because we're working with MP3 files. You can also do it for a bunch of other modules as well. We've got all this music here, and you see this data.json file, and this contains data on all of these different songs. So we'll just put it over there so that we can keep referring back to it. And then all of these songs are in this folder. And the other thing we're going to use is glob. And glob means that we can go through this file and look at every single song and make sure that we get the right one. We're also going to import JSON so that we can read this JSON file. And we're going to import re so we can make some regular expressions. So it helps first to actually open this file. So we'll go to music/data.json as file, and we'll say that the data is the load of the file, so we're just loading it, and then we can just print the data. And you can see that this is exactly the same as this, just as a dictionary, which is why it hasn't got quotes around it rather than a string. The next thing we want is some music, and so the music is this glob of music/star.mp3. And you see it was encouraging me to use a backslash because it's Windows, but the / works as well. And this will get every file that is in this music folder and ends in .mp3. So you see it's all of these different files. We can then actually loop through music and do something. So we're actually going to get the song title, and we're going to use regular expressions to search for a specific pattern. And the specific pattern, first we're going to check that the thing begins with music, and I need an R here so that it takes it literally. And then we've got these double slash because they all begin with that. And then we want this. We want to look for a song, and this will be A to Z, lowercase a to z, 0 to 9, an apostrophe, and a space. So it could be any of these characters in the actual title, and we'll have multiple of those. And then we want to make sure that it ends in .mp3. So here we just say that it ends with the MP3. So this is a fairly complex expression, but it's just looking for the title of the song and getting rid of the .mp3 and the music / at the beginning. And we need to make sure we're searching through the file name. So we can just print the song. And you'll see that these are all different matches, but actually knowing that it's characters 6 to 31 isn't that useful. So we can then just get the 0th group. So we've got all the song titles. And then we want to check if the song is in the keys of this data dictionary. And if it is, we can just have an audio, and this is the EasyID3, and we can just print the audio. And you can see it's currently just nothing, there's no data. So what we'll then do is we'll say that the title of the song is the song title. And we can then just repeat that for the artist and the year. And so we've set all these attributes. Although the issue here is when we set the year, it says that year is not a valid key. And that's because with mutagen, it's actually got a different name. So it's called date, which is a bit confusing. But if we run it again, you see again, it's not working. And this is invalid multispec data. 1980, which is this value here, and this actually needs to be a string, So we can just close the brackets off, and now it's a string. And you can see now we've got all the data, but we haven't saved it. So we can print the audio, and then we'll save it. So we'll say audio.save, and we'll save it using the file name of the song. So now we've saved all this different data to all these different audio files, so they have all the data about each song. So that was very easy. We just wrote some ID3 tags, and all these MP3 files have now gone from blank files to files with information. And you can also add, for example, the album and the album artist, but because these songs aren't taken specifically from albums, they've just all been put together. The next thing we want to do is change the audio itself, and this is fairly complicated, so I'm just going to have a look at a few different things you can do to edit the audio. And the library we're going to use for that is called PyDub. And PyDub works with MP3 files, WAVs, and a whole bunch of other different media formats, and it's really good for making changes. It doesn't, however, work with MIDI files because they're a completely different way of storing audio using digital instruments, but there are other libraries for working with MIDI files. So the first thing we want to do is we want to choose a song. So to make this more interesting, we're actually going to import random, and we'll say that the song is a random choice of the music. And we'll just print the song. And you can see this time it's chosen Beat It. And we're not actually going to need this data.json file anymore, so I'll just close it. But we actually need PyDub. So the first thing is from PyDub, we want to import an audio segment. And this actually allows us to do something. So I actually say that the song is an audio segment from MP3, because these are all MP3 files of the song. And you can see it takes a bit of time to load, but we've now got an audio segment object, and it's given us a memory location. We also want to import from PyDub.playback this play function. So then what we can do is we can just play the song. But instead of playing the whole song, we're just going to take a segment. So what we'll do is we'll say that our segment is equal to the song, and we just take the first 5 seconds. So this is the first 5,000 milliseconds, and I put the song back in so that it tells us what it is before it plays it. And then we play the segment. So it's just the first 5 seconds.
The long and winding road.
Although you can see it kind of cut out there quite quickly. So what we can actually do is we can then say we want to take the segment, so we want to fade in 1000 milliseconds and then fade out 1000 milliseconds. So in total it's a 1 second fade at the start and 1 second at the end. And you can see that this has generated a new segment, so each time here it's immutably changed the object to generate a new one, because PyDub audio segments are immutable. And you can see there it's faded in and out as well. And of course, the most fun thing I think you can do with PyDub is to just reverse music. So we can hear the first 5 seconds fading in and out, but backwards. And you can see that sounds incredibly strange, but it's a very cool thing you can do with PyDub. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. You've learned a few things about audio and how you can work with MP3 files in Python. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, you'll use it for your own music, and I'll see you again, same time, next week. Till then.